Yo, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Let me get this collab cam going. Microphone. Share video source. Let's see here. See if we can make this work. Trying something new. How we doing, everybody? Welcome.
Welcome to the Godzilla Army.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You guys are just stopping in, man. Make sure you hit that sub button. See if this works. This should work. Go the live dashboard real quick. There we go. There we go. Now collab cam should work. If not, I'll just give them a call over on Discord. But it should work. Message failed to send. Oh, let me send this to him on Discord, maybe. That should work. There we go. This should get sent to him. What's that? There we go. Can you hear me? Let me get your settings here really quick so I can hear you. Because for some reason I can't. Might just be an audio source. So collab cam is here. Let's see. So you can hear me, but for some reason I can't hear you. Hardware. If I add this to chat. A lot of audio stuff, man. My apologies. Microphone, audience. This must be that collab cam right here. Maybe because it's a browser source. I might just have to call you on Discord, bro.
Yo, can you hear me?
Oh, that's perfect. Now I can hear you.
All right, so let's both mute our mics then on the Streamlabs. Yeah, I hear you fine. And then I don't know, it seems like you have a camera on Discord. You can shut it off because I see it in the Streamlabs. Yeah, I have a feeling it's lagging here. Yeah. Just make sure chat can hear and all that, but you're good. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a combination. First of all, hey AOI. They said they don't hear you.
Can they hear me now?
Is that true?
Can they hear me now?
Make sure you do a mic input on OBS.
To the Tone Zilla Army.
Yeah, I have something different I set up. I have a beacon mix create, so some of the sources might be
Okay, so
whatever.
I'll just mute you on Discord then,
Okay.
and yeah.
Yep, that's fine.
All right.
We'll work around.
Chat all good? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear Tone now. Okay, they're good. All right.
Okay, perfect. I'll
So,
ask
you wanna
that
start
question
over?
again. Yeah, so obviously we'll get to the Nadia stuff eventually. I know that's kind of why everybody's here for all the content that you've been putting out, but I know recently you kind of said that you were done, you're kind of retiring from hacker hunting, and I'm assuming it's because of the state of the hacker hunter scene, but maybe it's different if you want to kind of like indulge on that.
Yeah, I mean it's a combo wombo. So with everything with Nadia, right? I think goes a lot further than anyone's expecting. But I'll say with the overall scene, I think it's so all over the place. You know, certain content creators are making content that is very far fetched, where they're just like going for the views. They're doing whatever they could possibly do to get the bag, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. I don't think it's the most honest way of doing things, and I think they know that as well. You know, obviously, one knows it so much that they're afraid to even put a face or name or voice even behind what they're doing.
Yeah.
And the other content creator, you know, knows they're so far down the rabbit hole that, fuck it, what's it gonna do? So I think in that regards, right? Like the scene is fucked,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think one person's actions 100% can reflect on all of the community, although it does have an effect. More so that I think the community even itself is very toxic, um, down to its viewers. And I've kind of not to say that every person is like that, but when you disagree with someone, the normal thing is to have a discussion. That's always been how I've been raised, politically, religiously, scientifically. If you have an argument, you talk about it. And that's really not the case in a lot of the scene here, especially with the viewers. Is if you disagree with my opinion, well, you can eat shit. But if anyone else says that their opinion matches what they view, well, good on you. You're the next coming Lord and Savior. But so that's how I feel about all that. So I said, you know what? It's time I take a step back and I look at what I really care about, because what I care about is doing research. And that was the fun of hacker hunting stuff to me. Was I saw a community of, some people very guided, other people very misguided. And I said, you know what? It's not fair that there's no one who is a professional on gameplay, or a professional in the sense of understanding the game, I should say, even just in general, that is doing it. And that was how I felt at the time. And I was watching all these creators blow up with no understanding of the game. You couldn't ask them how a UAV even works. So I said, let me sit down and do the opposite. Let me do it from another standpoint where someone debunks these videos. And then I realized that, like, yeah, no, it works. And you're gonna get, the same viewership you normally would get.
You got a lot of
But
hate
what
for
if-
that though.
Right. That's the part that it comes
Including
to, is
myself. Including myself.
right. You get people that, may or may not fully understand the game, but very strong opinionated wise. And so they look at what you said very, very nitpicky. Right.
Very
So
critical,
I might make a joke. I might make a joke about someone's, knowledge of the game. They take that to heart. And,
It's an ego thing.
to my fault,
Yeah.
because I'm an egotistical prick, and I'll sit down and I'll talk shit because I'm from New York, and it's just how I've been raised. But it bothered a lot of people. So hey, fair enough. You know what? If it bothers you, it bothers you.
Yeah, well, the same. I think everyone got thrown for a loop when Headband kind of came out and stated that he had deleted all of his old content, and I kind of stayed away from making a comment about it, because I like Headband. I don't know if me and Headband are friends, but we're definitely cordial. I've played with him a few times just in his customs and stuff. He's a cool dude, but at the same time, it definitely makes you scratch your head as to why you would delete all your old content and just like do a roundabout. I personally don't really have an opinion on it because I still want to see it play out. But do you think Headband is genuine in stating what he did?
So that's a good question because I do see what everyone's saying that is like, well, he wanted to be a content creator and then it didn't work out, so he went this route and maybe he's doing a lateral. But when I'll take you back to when it first all started, right?
Mhm.
And I started talking with Headband. He was one of the only people that were somewhat cordial to me. Granted, there's creators like AOI that I fuck with. Like
Yeah.
I fuck with them, even though we don't meet eye to eye. I fuck with it because the personality is there. Where I like see
He's a good
you, I
content
know what
creator.
you're doing. Yeah, but so uh, with Headband, it was very similar in the sense that like we're both from New York. We both had trouble pass. So I kind of clicked with him pretty quick. I was like, hey, I fuck with you. Like, shit happens.
Mhm.
That's life. And so we talked a lot off stream and off video. And I was like, in the DMs, I was like, do you really believe what you're putting out? And he was. This would be the perfect opportunity to me for him to say, nah, bro, I'm just fucking playing these
Mhm.
fucking
Just
kids.
kind of
And I'd be
trolling,
like,
yeah.
okay. I'd be okay. If that's what you're doing, whatever. Do you, man? Because I'm not gonna tell people how to run their business. You know,
Mhm.
I'm gonna note it. I'm gonna stay a little further away, but I'm gonna let you do you. Just as some of these other guys are mimicking other content creators. I'm letting it go. And so he was always on my ass. He would send me clips and he'd go, "What the fuck is this? What do you think of this?" He's like, "This is way too crazy to me." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't know." And I think when he put in that time in the game, because he around that time, right, he wasn't really playing. Caldera came and the anti-cheat and everything else, and it did slow down on cheaters, I will say.
Mhm.
And I think that
I
that
agree.
made him more willing to jump in the game. And changed his perspective, I think. But only he's gonna know.
True.
Only he's really gonna know. But it seems to me that it did change his perspective because his DMs to me were always, I may not see eye to eye to you on, certain content creators, but what do you think of this clip? Because I do appreciate your opinion. Do you think this could be recreated? And then we would talk.
Mhm.
And that happened with a lot of people. There's still plenty of people that do that to me to this day. I don't want to be in the forefront of this because what it's come down to is there is like an army of, you know, our streamers cheating people. And then there's an army of people that are
Debunkers,
no
what you would
one's
call them.
cheating. I wouldn't even call them debunkers
Mhm.
because the debunkers, they're like, okay, you look at Cod in 4K. I
Mhm.
consider him a credible debunker.
Same.
This guy sits down, he looks at a clip, he says, "Is this even possible?" And he'll straight up say, he's like, "This shit looks weird."
Mhm.
And then he'll sit there and he'll try everything possible in a private match, in a custom match. He'll do anything and everything. And he'll go, "Okay, this is possible." And that's what I originally started with, except my issue was I did it live and people will nitpick
Mhm.
everything live. So I was like, you know what? If I can't do anything in this
You
scene
talk about the
without
Z-Laner
people at
clip?
my throat. Whether it's the Z-Laner clip, because with the Z-Laner clip, right? Like my original goal was to actually show aim assist can hold a target all the way on that roof, right? Like it can stay within the hitbox because there is a hitbox of aim assist that is
Mhm.
different when on 120 FOV.
Right.
By just changing one setting, it changes the whole hitbox. It's enable or disable FOV scaling. So if you have that disabled, your box is different than someone else's who is enabled. While if it's enabled, it is smaller and tighter, so the slowdown is insane within the character's real hitbox. So And yeah, the hitbox technically isn't changing. It again, all science here, mathematics. But I love that stuff. That is the stuff that gets me interested. Is the mathematics behind it. And I just realized I'm like I'm better off just making videos that do exactly that with the actual game. Like talking about how aim assist works and all that, and
Hmm.
teaching the people who want to learn. Because my finding is most people that uh actually care, you know, about the mathematics part aren't going to go watch.
It's
Is this
unfortunate.
streamer cheating?
It's
They're
unfortunate.
going they're going to find, if a streamer's being prosecuted right
Hmm.
there and being massacred. And you know what? That's the content. That's the content. I will say I made faults with that Z-Laner video because I should have said to them, hey, it took this many attempts for me to get this close to what I did. And no, it is not exact. But I was saying the aim assist was exact. To me, it being in the hitbox was exact enough for me to see, okay, it works. It showed to me, hey, like I don't see a lock on to the target, but I see my aim assist stopping at the fence. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There was certain things that I should have said in more detail, but when you look at how I edited it too, you'll realize like I'm trying to make a movie when I make those videos. And I threw that whole theory out when I realized like people don't even care if
Hmm.
I spend days, weeks, months on an edit. They just want the fucking video. So I was like, all right, I'll just put this shit together and throw it together.
Oh, I
And
remember reading the
people like it,
comments.
people like
People were
it.
like, "Man, Rara, you've been working on this video for 6 months or 7 months or whatever it was at the time." I remember
Well,
that.
that one is, I think I spent like a month. Like I really spent about a month. Like yes, I the week that clip came out, I did it within 72 hours, right?
Yeah.
I sat down, I said to my stream, hey, let's do this live. AOI knows, like I spent probably like 2-3 hours on it and filmed the whole thing. But then the editing came. And when editing comes, it's like at the time I was so obsessed with it to my own fault that yeah, I thought it was the most important thing to make the presentation more entertaining. And I mean, you look at the analytics and it did work, right? People
Hmm.
watched from beginning to end. Majority of retention time was above 60%. So that to me says people enjoyed the video, right? And whether you hate me or like me, I invoke a feeling. And that's all I'm supposed to do as a content creator is
True.
evoke a feeling.
I know recently you had also said that you weren't sure what aimbot would look like, and I know COD in 4K actually came on the podcast last week, and he also stated he's like, I don't know what to look for with aimbot. Do you think that discredits your past videos then?
I wouldn't say necessarily that's the case, right? I more so what happened was I sat down with AOI actually. And we had a discussion about recent updates with aimbot and that how you can freely, control within the hitbox. Because everything I've seen, I've watched Jesus, like I don't know how many hack review videos on YouTube, right?
Hmm.
Like, and as dumb as that sounds, of like giving them the watch time and giving them the reviews, watching rage hackers, watching people hiding it. Like I sat down and I was like, this is how you learn. If you don't want to use hacks, this is how you have to learn. Is watching the people who got caught cheating,
Right.
watching the people who like want to sell cheats and are showing you how they look. And you have to sit down and research. So I did that time and I spent that time in that. But none of them ever talked about this new aimbot for me that is like you can scan within the hitbox and freely move your controller within the hitbox, but it will make sure that you are inside the hitbox at all times when doing it.
Hmm.
And it kind of blew my mind that I said, all right, I need to take a step back and see what is going on, right? In that sense. But um no one's ever brought that up to me before.
Right.
So it changed my dynamic of how I go about these videos and was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't even assume this is the case. And uh so much so that where that started was with 5x5. Because 5x5 is a tricky case. It's someone that I knew from Blackout that I was like, this player can't be cheating. I was so sure based on the fact that She was a fucking phenomenal player on Black Ops 4 with a console, no PC. I was like, there's no shot, you know?
So a little biased.
And right. And then when what changed my mind, obviously, was the permaban. And I said, holy shit, this changes everything. I can no longer go, hey, is this possible with aim assist? Because aimbot is doing its best to replicate aim assist. And
Correct.
I fucked up. And I gotta own that and say that's my mistake. So I can't go around debunking clips if I don't know enough about that.
Oh, they tried to crucify you for that. And I don't want to say I'm defending you to a point, but obviously you owned up to it. So that was the biggest thing. But
I get what you're saying. No, I understand them trying to crucify me, because it does make sense that it's like, hey, you defended this person. I totally get it. I totally get why people would be upset about it. You know, and to that fault, I learned from it. That's the only way you learn from those lessons. I mean, Beeman still has to learn the lesson of his clip manipulation. It wasn't clip manipulation. He still hasn't explained what it really was, but I covered it in a video. But that's my point. You know what I mean? Is that you make a mistake, you own up to it. And that's the thing that I'll always do. If Beeman sat down and owned up to the mistakes he's made, I think he would, you know, change some views on how he makes his content. But he doesn't. He doubles down. The swatting was fake. Well, there's calls. There's actual evidence that the calls were made.
I was lost on that one. I will tell you that I waited. I didn't say anything about it. I waited until everything else kind of came. And obviously, every content creator in the Hacker Hunter community was covering it all day, every day. So I just kind of waited. I stepped back. And when all the call, I think, was that COD in 4K who kind of like tracked everything down with the calls and stuff. And then I know Beeman had put out the video like, well, this could still be fake. I was like, all right, man, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think this is pretty set in stone, regardless of how it was handled or whatever. There's definitely audio of what happened and video. So that's a fact now. That's a fact for me.
Yeah, that one's a fact for me too. So listen, I've said a million times, I don't always see eye to eye with every content creator, whether it's in the Hacker Hunter scene or even in gameplay scenes. I still have guys who fucking block me. I had Swag's editor the other day block me because I said, hey, listen, you might be upset because he commented, oh, the only way to get views right now is to yell hacker louder. And I said, Vonnie, I don't know why you're saying that when that's not the case with my content.
Right.
I've been one of the people that actually have been the most outstanding defending people and saying, hey, this could be possible with aim assist, to my own fault. But that is the problem. Is that on one side, they saw it as he's going after every streamer, right? Because of the bias of what other guys do.
I think that's a default. I feel like that's just such a default saying for everybody. I mean, even if you post something on TikTok, I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody be like, oh, you just think everybody's cheating. And I'm like, no, I don't. I made a couple of videos or whatever, and people are like, well, you just think everybody's cheating. You must be a bot at the game. And I'm like, what else can I do?
So Tone, here's my big thing, right?
Go ahead.
This is why I've kind of held, and I still get the comments, right? The reason I've held a status to most gamers, right? I would say like in the wager scene and everything else as someone credible is that I've always taken my time with going forward with it. I've never put a video out saying, look at these clips, we're going to slow them down. What do you think? Mm-hmm. Because that seems, not to talk shit on other people's content, but lazy. Mm-hmm. It seems lazy when there's probably more investigating you can do. You can pull up the COD tracker. You can look at, has there ever been a ban? Okay, that's a pass, right? That person has never even gotten a ban. All right, now let's look at their Twitch clips. Let's go through that. Okay, now we see that there's a couple sus clips. All right, now let's go try to recreate those clips. Most of the guys just sit down and they go, all right, we're gonna slow this down 50%, 25%, zoom it in. There it is. And it's like, aim assist is wonky. I don't think anyone can say aim assist is like perfect.
Aim assist is even wonky on console.
It's even worse. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
There's moments where you shoot at players and they're pressed up against a wall, and because they're pressed up against the wall, that's why I say the thing with Nadia like is very possible. It's just aim assist. There's a clip where she shoots at a guy who's pressed up against a wall, and the player flicks to the left, and the aim follows. Right?
That was in
That is
cells, right?
very well. I recreated that with cells.
Yeah.
No, the one you're thinking of is with the EMP.
Yeah. You're right.
But
You're
no,
right.
there's a clip outside on Rebirth by the water tower,
Oh, yep.
where a
I know.
player
Yeah.
flicks over. That is a very normal glitch that happens when you go prone, right? There's a prone kick out.
hmm
The same thing happens when you go down, right? The animation for going down causes your hitbox to change to a horizontal line. The horizontal line clips with any objects nearby, pushes you out, because the way that clipping works is that if you're not moving a certain speed, and you can learn this through, believe it or not, I learned this with Super Mario 64. If you look at clipping speeds, right, in order to clip through an object, you have to hit a certain speed that is too high for the game to register that you're not hitting that object. Because the way hitting a wall works in video games is that you are, how do I explain it? The game checks, for instance, in Super Mario, every I think it's 1/10 of a frame, or every 1/10 of a second, where Mario's position is to a wall, right? And determines right then and there whether or not Mario should be on one side of the wall, or inside the wall, or outside the wall. If he's inside the wall, the character will be pushed back outside. If he's further on the other side, he'll be pushed on the other side. And that's how those glitches become prevalent in the speedrunning
Right.
world. Well, that's how that happens in COD. Except the difference is that they didn't say, "Hey, you'll pass through the wall." They said you'll get kicked out a little bit. Although it still can happen, passing through the wall, by using a vehicle, which we've seen in Verdansk a ton, where people will go from one side of a wall out of a wall. I'm sorry, out inside a car, inside a wall, by just hitting out. So it really is really, really complicated on how to get these clippings to work.
Mhm.
And when a person jumps from left to right, aim assist tracks. I posted one clip where I sent to Hoppin' Dude of a guy freezing up in the air, right, with lag,
Mhm.
and I'm shooting at him, and I'm like, "Oh, he froze." So I continue shooting at him, and then all of a sudden the game kicks him back in, and he shoots down to the bottom of the screen, right? Instant teleportation.
Mhm.
My aim tracked with him.
You're a cheater. I'm
Right.
just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, man.
But so that happened. Then I talked to Maverick about it. So he jumped on console and showed that when you use an LMG and you press forward while shooting, and the player clipped to the left, the aim tracked with them. But when he switched to a PC at 120 FOV with the same LMG setup, it looked like fucking aimbot the way his shit snapped.
Mhm.
And the difference was the FOV, because it's the distance is like almost jarring, right? You go from 90 and it looks like a little, and then you go from
90 to
to
120.
120, and it's like across the whole screen
Mhm.
practically. So it's a little confusing. I
Well,
need that clip. I'll totally send that to you, COD. I'll totally send that to you. He sent me it.
if it's just like one or two clips, obviously, I mean, there's been times when I was like, man, that kind of looks sus or whatever, but I just kind of go on. I mean, I'm on PS5, but I mean, don't you think that if you had a number of clips, whether it be 5, 10, 15 clips against somebody where you're like, dude, this absolutely cannot be explained. And obviously you have to put into consideration the amount of time this person is putting into COD. If they're playing 8 hours a day, one clip a day isn't going to be that much, you know? But if they're playing 8 hours a day and you can go back and find VODs and you can say, well, there's 2 clips today, there's 3 clips today, are clips enough to accuse somebody?
I think clips are enough to accuse somebody, right? I've always been fine with people being accused. My issue is that once accused, right, it all depends on how the creator handles it. So let's look at someone like Mutex.
Okay.
Mutex when accused, sits down, he goes, I put a fucking cam on every fucking monitor in my room. I put a cam on my feet. I put a cam on my hands. I put a cam on my dick. I put a cam on everything. I go take a shit and you see the toilet paper roll. Like he's got it all, you know,
I agree.
like cam down. And the community's reaction to that is, well, he's still cheating. Anyone that said that, I write you off. I write you off right there. If he plays the same and performs the same and shows his computer restart on stream, shows there's nothing launching in the background, like everything is on screen, and he plays exactly the same, I don't think he's cheating. Joe sat down. He showed every wire that goes to his PC and everything else to his, you know, benefit. Showed everything. Sits down, plays the game. Same shit. Now he had one clip with the sniper, right?
Yeah.
Where I was like a little, whoa, that's interesting.
I think he had a Tundra. He picked up a Tundra from somebody or something like that.
Yeah, and the I believe the reasoning was that if he had his aimbot set for a specific gun and then he swapped to the sniper, it would fuck up his aimbot. And that's an interesting thing. I don't know about it. So I stayed fucking quiet. I don't know anything about that. I'm going to stay quiet on it. I really don't know. And that's when people started bringing that stuff up, I started to get a little more sketchy. I was like, okay. But players like that show everything and try their best to be very transparent, I usually say, they're probably doing their best to do it. People who are down to get their PC scanned. Joe was literally one of those people that messaged me. I wish I don't want to leak DMs, but
no, that's fine.
He literally messaged me and was like, hey, you know, I would love to do a video with you where you scan my PC. This was at like, you know, the Rise Up. And I was like, yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. I was like, I think it'd be the best idea to do it when you play a tournament. I was like, go play a tournament, and right as the tournament ends, and, you know, depending on your placement, let's sit down and then fucking scan your PC, whether win or lose.
But until that happens, people are going to have their doubts regardless.
Right, but you need a day where they perform really well, right?
Right.
In order to do that. Because if they have a shit day and then I scan their PC, everyone's going to go, oh, there it is. Aha, yeah, you got a shit day. Like, I'm going to wait until he has a good day. And I'm going to say, okay, now let's scan the PC and see what goes on. Because now you can compare that good day to other good days and see if there's, you know, changes in the way he aims, changes in the way he moves, anything. You could fucking break it all down then. But until you have that clear cut, you know, all right, this is a negative testing on a day where he played well, you're not going to have, you know, the forefront. So I gave him that option and he loved the idea, you know. We haven't done it.
So oh, go ahead.
So that all being said, now a player that does the opposite is a totally different story. So, you know,
Clutch W.
We'll talk about. Yeah,
Sorry.
Clutch W was a fucking, you know.
I watched the whole thing. Yeah, I watched the whole thing, man.
It was pulling teeth, and I, you know, to Rafi's fucking, you know, Rafi's honor, you know, the man is very honest with me, always. Rafi, you know, as much as we don't always meet eye to eye on shit, he always asks for my opinion on shit. He'll message me and go, hey, got this player. He's up and coming. What do you think of him? And then we'll talk about it. You know, he'll still hit me up to this day and have me scan PCs. I just scanned a PC for Winterella during a tournament. She wins the tournament, and then the opposing team, after she wins, goes, she's cheating. They won literally with like 4 kills. I was like, you're kidding, right? All right, let's scan her PC. Let's do it. And I stayed non-biased. I sat there. I went through everything. Like, let's see.
I'm surprised you didn't go live for that.
I've lost the drive to go live to scan a PC. It's not. I'll record it so that there's proof, and I'll send it to the people that matter, right? But it's not. It's not the content I want to make. I want to make shit that people can go back to and go, hey, this matters. I'm not prosecuting people. I'm not, you know, trying to ruin people's careers. You know, if I find something, I'll talk about it. I'll leak it. I'll let people do what they want with it. But I'm not going to be the one anymore because it doesn't matter to me. And Nadia is one of those people that pulling teeth. You know, hey, you can scan my PC. Okay, well, you can't scan my PC. Okay, so you can scan my PC, but like not right now. And I was like, okay, like which is it? You know, and I tried to stay very understanding. This was a month straight of me going back and forth with her. Scan my PC, don't scan my PC. Scan my PC, don't scan my PC. And then finally I was like, all right, listen, there are these contractors. I need you to explain. She said, okay, the accounts were traded. You know, it was my friend's account. I have my account. My KD was really low. I wanted to look better than I was. So I asked him to trade with me. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Right? I'll buy that. As someone who looks at her and says, yeah, you're not as good as your KD, right? It does make sense. When you look at her and you say, okay, she proclaims to be a 9 KD just for the clicks.
Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
Don't even make me talk about that.
And so that all being done, I was like, okay, this all adds up. Beginning to end, it all adds up. But what doesn't add up is you acting like that. If you really want to show that you're innocent, you're gonna, you know, do it for the people that matter. Don't do it for everybody, right? Because
don't you think it's too late though? Don't you think it's too late?
No, now
for a PC scan?
it's too late. Well, no, now it's too late because she wants to make that appear.
Also,
right?
AOI said, please scan IQ. Defo on roids back in Verdinkleberry.
I mean, listen, everything like back in the day with IQ, I haven't watched obviously all of his VODs. It seems like you guys have done a lot of research on him. The bit I've seen of him, I've played against him in tournaments. And like, so I'm getting like the spectator cam.
Right.
But even getting the spectator cam, watching it in, you know, 166 hertz in 1440, I'm like, I see every player he's seeing. His aim doesn't look crazy. Like his aim looks pretty normal to me. Right. And that was in both Caldera and Verdansk. Like he didn't look like a changed player. He's cracked. That's how it looked to me. I could be totally wrong. And that's why I'm not going after players anymore because I could be totally wrong. It's just not worth it. It's not worth ruining my reputation to all these people, which, let's be honest, even if I was right, every single person in this chat that's talking shit about me right now would still be talking shit. And that's why I don't care. You know, it's just, who am I proving it to? The people who think they're not cheating already think they're not cheating. All the people that think they're cheating aren't being convinced. I have yet to see one comment on a video where I debunk something and they go, wow, you know what? Your video kind of opened my eyes a little bit. You know, made me second think it. Everyone's like, "Ah, you fucking shell."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. All right.
Do you think streamers owe it to the community to be open about their setups? Like, I mean, say if IQ, obviously somebody who I've accused for a long time, I was like, IQ, you kind of owe the people to get a PC scan. Do you think it's on the streamer to say, you know what, here, just take it, or do you think they kind of have the right to be like, no, I don't want to do it, and that should just be the end of it?
I think where it really comes down to is that, sadly, your voice doesn't matter, right? And you know, I don't mean to say that like in an offensive way. I just mean to say
I completely
that, like,
understand that.
You know, you look at Wager Kids, even, right? And who is Tonezilla to, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I've gotten that comment
W.
for everybody. Yeah.
So it's not going to happen there. But where it will happen is, you know, let's just say, for instance, Huskers versus, you know, Clutch W. They sit down and they go, something's not right. And that exact situation that I'm talking about happened with Not Paint, where Rafi called me and said, hey, we got a kid who's being accused of cheating. I need you to scan his PC. I scan his PC. I find a spoofer. I say, okay, the spoofer is enough for me to say you're the fuck out. You know, like what the fuck?
Yeah,
you've been permabanned, so you're spoofing, or you're hiding the fact that you're, you know, cheating by using a spoofer. You know, so I'm like, okay. And he goes, oh, it's just unlock tools. I said to Rafi, you need to set a precedent. You can't just say unlock tools are fine. You need to ban the player. He agreed, and so we kicked him from the tournament. You know. there was backlash from it. Certain players were like, hey, it's just an unlock tool. I was getting DMs from players saying it's just an unlock tool. And I messaged, like I said, I have a connection with artificial aiming. I messaged the connection and said, hey, run this email. Tell me what you find. He said, okay, they bought a spoofer through CSGO. Which means this kid got banned and said, I'm going to spoof with a spoofer on purpose that is not Call of Duty related. Doesn't come with anything cheat-wise Call of Duty because it's a package. So that I don't have anything Call of Duty related, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, that's to his benefit. Then I said, okay, log out of your Discord. Put me in the login screen.
Mm-hmm.
Saw 2 Discords, right? Autofill. I said, okay, log me in on that one. Logged in. Sure enough, he's in the ACD,
Discord server. Mm-hmm.
Right. And I see, okay, he bought accounts. He's had multiple accounts that he's played with. Most likely cheating on those accounts, not cheating on his.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, nah, you're fucking out. Yeah, you're 100% out. This is after I already made the decision.
Right. About the spoofer, yeah.
Right. I said to Rafi, kick him, and then we'll do a further investigation. And then we sat down and did the rest.
I was actually surprised when you were talking to Rafi, how it just seemed like he was so naive to the fact that people had cheats at all in general, and he didn't really know too much about them. Granted, though, he streamed for over a year, and I tried to go back and find his VODs and clips, but there's like nothing to be found. I don't know if that was because of the Clutch W thing or whatever. I'm not going to speculate, but for somebody who's been involved in gaming for quite some time, he seemed to not have any idea whatsoever about Magnificent being permabanned. Do you think he was lying about that, or you think he was like legitimately like had no idea?
Well, so me and him talked in the DMs about that, right? And I won't get too deep in the logistics, but he said to me, right, most people don't care that he was banned. And sadly, we don't know the reason. Activision won't come out and say the exact reason.
Well, can't you put 2 and 2 together? Especially with the dates?
I agree. Right. But, he's been very honest with me, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he said to me, hey, I didn't know it when I signed him. I really didn't. He's like, I've only played COD since Modern Warfare 19.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've literally started playing in Modern Warfare 19. My friends all told me to get it. I got it. I loved it. I wanted to invest into it. I figured out ways to start a team. Like, I really didn't know. I showed him a clip of Black Ops 1. He's like, which COD is this? He didn't know. Like, that is how he is.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
well, he also said that he thought that unlocker tool wasn't cheating. I mean, he kind of said that himself. He said,
right.
Before all this happened, I thought that unlocker tool really wasn't that big of a deal,
Right. And most people that argue with me on Twitter that say, unlocker tools aren't a big deal are kids that are like literally kids. They're like 16.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Playing Call of Duty.
TikTok kids. I call them
for
the
the third time
kids.
in their life.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't see the big deal. I don't want to pay Activision. It's like you're buying a cheat from the same website that aimbot bought. Like,
but you're right. A lot of them come with more than just an unlocker tool. It's like an unlocker plus a constant UAV or whatever the case is. So, I mean, there's very few that I've seen that are just unlocker only. And I know that's going to be a common, and a lot of people have already said this, and I knew this, but a lot of people that get permabanned or got caught for being permabanned are just going to say, yeah, it was an unlocker. It was an unlocker. Just like Clutch W. I mean, he stated that, he got permabanned because it was an unlocker. Is there ever really, I mean, for you, do you think Clutch W was just permabanned for an unlocker, or do you think it was something completely different?
I think it was probably something completely different. And
but you can't prove
reasoning why. Right.
Yeah.
Here's my reasoning why. I haven't heard his name since in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was like totally innocent, right, there would be something in the scene. For instance, it's America, right?
Mm-hmm.
A known cheater got caught, had an artificial aim account, was walling his ass off in wagers on Cold War, I mean, the kid fucking was called out back in Twitch Rivals the same day as Metzi, but Metzi got most of the blow. And listen, not going to go too deep on Metzi, but I think Metzi was innocent. I mean, most people stood up for him too, but Metzi was probably the innocent one, and America was the one cheating. They just kind of put the focus on Metzi. But maybe I'm wrong there. I don't know. But so, I've seen clips on both sides that make me think he was cheating, and then clips that make me think he isn't. So I've kind of stayed quiet on that one too.
And I think Metzi's still kind of in the community. I mean, I don't watch him or whatever, but I do see his name from time to time.
Metzi still playing to a high level. It's America. Still playing and playing to a high level. Are they both cheating? Possibly. Clutch W fucking disappeared. Man packed his bags, right? Like, that's the part that makes me go, okay, yeah, you're probably the most sus to me. When you pack your bags and you're like, I'm out, you're out.
Yeah, he didn't go live for quite some time because I had followed him on, I think it was Twitch or whatever, to see if he would ever talk about it or whatever. And I never got a notification for.
I mean, he deleted the tweet. He deleted the tweet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And do you think that
he was trying to erase it?
Do you think he's just blackballed because he was part of Omit, or do you think that that's just how it is?
Wait, what do you mean?
As far as like not being in the scene anymore, do you think that Omit was just like, yep, nobody sign him, nobody allow him to play in any tournaments, or do you
blacklisted?
Blacklisted, yeah.
Oh, I don't think so, because I know Rafi likes the kid, right? Rafi said to me, like, the kid's a good kid. He's like, I don't think he was cheating, but I also don't know. And what you found and the way he lied changed my whole perspective on him. So, who really knows? But I don't think Rafi would go out of his way to blacklist the kid. I think more so, like, the kid getting dropped was it. Like, no one was really interested in him to start, and then he just wasn't really playing.
I think he kind of painted himself into a corner by saying, well, if, this is found out to be you, like, he's completely kicked off the team. Like, that's it. He kind of said that before all of that stuff had even transpired. I think right when we started, like, looking into a lot of the COD tracker stuff, he was like, oh, yeah, if he's cheating, that's it. He's done,
Yeah.
Do you think if he would have not said that he would still be a part of Omit or no?
No, I think Rafi would have kicked him.
It would have been the same.
Rafi doesn't fuck around like that.
Yeah, obviously I don't know him personally. I just know him because he, still hates me.
My first interaction. I don't think he hates you either.
You know what's funny?
That's the thing.
COD in 4K said the same thing. I had him on, and he was like, you know what? I honestly think Rafi likes you. He said, I think that he. I was like, I don't know about that.
No, you gotta understand. Rafi always appreciates, criticism.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you come with an honest opinion and you come honestly and respectfully, he's gonna talk to you. Most people wouldn't do that. I think Rafi is one of the most upstanding, I want to say creators, but he's not really a creator. But org owners I've met next to Hex.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think Rafi has a lot of potential in the scene and can continue growing his org. It's it all dependent on, how the scene is, because if he's the one scouting the players, he needs to be very careful, because the cheating problem is massive. And if you're trying to start a competitive team in Vanguard, it's even worse. If you're trying to start a competitive team in Modern Warfare 2, it might be just as bad as Vanguard. We don't know yet. These kids are tweaking for cheats.
Oh,
Overwatch
yeah,
2 right now, within the first 3 hours of the game being out, people are on forums crying for cheats. Are there cheats out yet? Who broke the code? Who's gonna drop the code? I'm like, not even joking. It's insane. People can't even get in the servers yet, and they're crying about cheats. That blew my mind. I was like,
nobody wants to get good anymore, man.
Holy. But Rafi has tried his hardest to, with everything he has available, to find players that are legitimate, that are, willing to show everything and anything. And to his benefit, most have. If someone gets accused, he hits me up. He goes, hey, scan their PC. I do it.
I feel like there's truth to that. But in the same sentence of him saying that he wants the best players, he also said he wants the highest earners. So, and he knows that. I mean, he even said that, you know, for him it's just a business, and that's the good business model to have. Like, you sign the highest earners. So from the outside looking in, everyone is looking at Omit like, this is a joke, man. He's just signing kids that are just cheating their ass off. Obviously, I don't truly believe that everyone in Omit is cheating. I don't. And I know a lot of people think that. I think because of what happened with Clutch W, the stuff that I had shown about Omit Rivs with the cheat key, the IQ stuff, I think people look at them and say, hey, man, this doesn't.
You,
go ahead.
The Rivs thing. Can you tell me more about that out of curiosity?
About the cheat key?
Yes.
Okay, so the cheat key, this is something that Beeman had caught. There was a cheat key that was put into his Discord server by one of his friends, and still to this day he never talked about it. It was a Modern Warfare Zeta key, which has an aimbot tool on it. Shortly after this was shared, he was later found to have another account that was linked to him. There's no video of it, but it played one game of Plunder and it dropped 50 kills, and I think I had talked to you about that. Granted, that's not insane, but to play one game of Plunder after you had a cheat key in your Discord server, in your Beam Squad Discord server, I think that's like a red flag, man. For me, at least.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I've talked to Rafi about it, and we both said, like, we don't know much about it, so it's like it's hard. So that's why I wanted to know more about it, because I'm sure me and Rafi are going to talk more about it in the future, because I don't know the whole situation. I've only heard rumors of what happened.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised you didn't know too much about that, only because you are. I don't know if you're friends with Rafi or just kind of cordial or whatever, but yeah, that happened back in March. So
yeah, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. Like, we're more like cordial than anything. Like, we don't hit each other up on the reg, but if he needs something, I sit down and I do it. You know, and if I need something, he'll sit down and do it. You know, if I need a player's contact info, he'll forward it to me, and that's usually how it goes. You know, but with Rivs, I've heard about the Discord thing, but I didn't know the full details. Like, because I heard one story where it's him joining a cheat Discord, and then I heard another one where it was what you just said, where someone put a cheat in his Discord.
It was a cheat key, yeah.
Right. So I was a little confused by it. But also, how old is the kid?
I think he just started 7th grade. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. He's a little bit older than that. I think he's like 16. I don't know. He's a teenager.
But, right. So to that, I'll say, right, it's very possible that then that is what happened, right? Because it makes sense for his age, for a game that's riddled with cheaters, to seem almost attractive to try the cheats, especially in Verdansk or whatever, when it was going crazy. I could see how it was tempting to him as a 16-year-old. You know what I mean?
Do you think it qualifies for like an automatic PC scan? And obviously, I don't know if Rafi knew about it right away, because I mean, I don't know if Beeman reached out to him or whatever, but Beeman makes his videos and kind of expects everyone to kind of know. Yeah,
the thing is Beeman doesn't reach out to anybody. Like, he says he does, but like what he does is he'll subtweet you or he'll tweet at you, and if you don't see his notification, that's it.
Right.
Like, that's not a good way of getting anyone's attention. You want to get someone's attention, you message them on a platform, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, whatever. You don't comment on a video. You don't fucking, if you're a creator and you're trying to get in contact with another creator, the best way is Twitter, DMs. And if they don't have DMs open, well, then that's that. But if they have DMs open, that's your way of contacting him.
Kind of talking about that too. I mean, in my opinion, just the state of the entire Hacker Hunter community, not just Beeman, I feel like it's kind of shifted from more of a let's look at this gameplay to now it just for me, it just seems super clickbaity. It's very let's put out the next piece of Nadia, and that just seems to be like the talk of the town right now. Do you think that with the state of the hacker hunter community right now, do you think there's ever any going back to actually being a legitimate voice in the community?
Yes, but it's doing something completely different with doing it. I mean, I think a great example is being a channel that only shows confirmed kills in a sense, right? That's like, hey, this player was caught cheating live on stream, and just being that channel, and then going from there to build up,
Right?
because until you have that reservoir, and that's the thing, is that a lot of these guys, like Beeman, for instance, I think he's the best example, right? He, for a long time, just covered who got caught cheating
Right.
that day. And he was one of the first people to cover who got caught, but he wasn't the one who caught them. But people, because they watched the video and the way he,
Oh, I agree. It's just how it's
changes
perceived.
the language.
Yeah.
He makes it seem like he outed that person. For instance, when you ask for his list of players he's caught, Wagnificent is on that list. When the fuck did he make a video about Wagnificent cheating? After he was caught cheating.
Right.
Not when he was, playing the game normally and no one thought anything of it. After he was permabanned. Mr. Gold. When did he make a video? After he was caught cheating. And I made a video on Mr. Gold
before, right?
Before Beeman.
I did see your
and
video about that.
I'm not the one who caught Mr. Gold.
Yeah.
I don't claim that. But that's my point, is that he knew the language, knew the audience, and knew if I just keep saying I caught them, that audience will think it is me. And then I can start pointing fingers and making them look sus.
Oh, like call shame? Sorry.
Right. So he's got, but no, exactly. So, and look whose format looks exactly the same. Trending on YouTube.
Yeah.
Blue sky. It's so much so that I think Call of Shame is trying to differentiate from Beeman now.
Yeah.
He's like scared to look the same as him. So Beeman has always stolen content, acted like it's his, pointed a finger, and made people who are, and not to their fault, but naive. They opened YouTube for the first day after getting out of work, and they're ready to watch a video, and Bad Boy Beeman caught another cheater. That's what they think. They don't know, okay, well, actually, Scummin called out Shifty on this play, and then Scummin said, hey, play with Face It on and do it like he makes it out to be like, yeah, I was expecting this player to be caught cheating, and then this happened, and it just all came together.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, you can't do that.
I get that for sure. So let's I know everyone's been kind of waiting to hear about Nadia. Obviously you kind of said that there's really nothing that we can do now to say that Nadia is cheating, but obviously everyone wants to know if you think that she has more than just an unlocker, which you kind of shown in the DMs.
Right. So I leaked DMs, for those that don't know, of messages between Nadia and a pretty well-respected player, organizer, and content creator who levels guns for other people if you pay them. But she does it legitimately. She, she'll sit down and literally grind on your account, $20 a gun. And, it's a honest living. If you look at it, how many content creators don't want to level their guns? If you're not willing to cheat, that is a great way to do it, So Nadia reached out to that player, and they talked in the DMs about like doing it and the logistics and what needed to be done. But then Nadia in the DMs said, hey, by the way, I do have some guns unlocked because I had someone do it. Now, I don't know if that means she had someone do it on her account, right? Like just take her account and do it. Or if that means that she downloaded it and she just didn't want to say, I downloaded it, right? But she had a unlock tool used on her account. And so that was number one to me, where I go, all right, you've lost some trust because you won't even admit to a VPN.
Right.
And
it's more than blatant. It's more than blatant. Yeah.
clear as day she uses a VPN. And then when she doesn't, she's playing with players that have a 0.2 KD to try to soften the blow.
Absolute low skill level players, yeah.
Yeah. And she'll make those players think that she's her best friend until it's time to, you know. But once she gets that FaZe contract, those players are gone. Trust me. She'll get those whitelisted lobbies. She doesn't need them.
You think she's going to be in FaZe eventually?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly where she's going.
That's like the plan, yeah.
She wants 100 Thieves, but 100 Thieves wouldn't touch her. It's fucking FaZe wants her.
Because of the baggage? Or
Listen. FaZe loves controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me one player that hasn't had a controversy on FaZe.
Oh, I can tell you, yeah.
Even the ones I like the most. Even the ones I like the most, like Zuma, have some of the fucked up shit that you don't even know. And you got to do the research. You got to go on Google and look into it. And I love Zuma. I would hang out with Zuma every day.
Yeah.
Right? I got my own fucked up shit. I mean, shit, I literally spent the night in jail for drinking and driving. You know, like that is stuff that you don't know about players.
Right.
You don't know their backstories. Everyone's got some fucked up shit, but FaZe loves that. FaZe loves that.
For the clicks,
and
yeah.
Yeah. And so they'll pull them. They'll literally pull them and say, "You are perfect for this org. Sit down, champ. Let's have a chat."
That's that fake it till you make it right there.
Yeah, and then that's how they get pulled.
Yeah.
So I don't see 100 Thieves touching her, but FaZe, 100%. Where was I going with that now? I lost my train of thought. Oh, but so yeah, the unlock tools became very apparent because of those messages. When I did more digging and I look at our messages between me and her, where we were talking about, how she leveled guns. We talked about a moderator named Jasper.
That's the account that she was playing on or whatever.
Right. Who was leveling her guns.
Mm-hmm.
And I might as well air out most of those because I'm at the point where I'm not going to continue.
Let's hear it.
So the research that I found is she was letting her mod level her guns. I don't know if that mod, Jasper, was the one using the unlock tool or if this is a completely different person. But that was one. Two, she left her email in the messages. I had her email and her password, but I would never log into the account. And I purposely blurred that out in any content I posted about those messages. But she leaked her email in that those messages, and I found other emails that linked to that, all with a pattern of a 6636 at the end of their usernames, which led me to find with Cotton 4K, when we did more research on it, a couple other YouTube channels, which were her families. One was hers when she was a kid that she shared with her brother, that was under her dad's name. And that is like, whatever on the account. But it's funny because you look at those accounts, and there's literally videos of her talking about 16th Prestige Black Ops lobbies that they were hosting. And it makes me laugh to go, holy shit. She talked about her first COD is Black Ops 1, and they're hosting 16th Prestige lobbies. That's her first COD.
She said, "What is the dolphin dive?"
And then, she didn't unlock that one.
Yeah.
Then, at the very bottom of the fucking about section, she's got a website, Club Penguin Cheats.
Club Penguin. That's interesting.
I'm like, yo, Club Penguin Cheats? So you needed cheats for Club Penguin? But it's funny because I don't think they were selling cheats, right? They were just killing the clickbait, right, of that back then. But it's like they're 10 years old.
Right.
They're like 10, 11 years old when they're doing this. And it's like, oh, this has been how she's raised is 16th Prestige lobbies talking about cheats. I don't know.
Do you
think
she trolls about the Cronus thing?
Oh, that's a loaded question because I look at that one clip of her when she first started talking about the Cronus, and it's like that could be her baiting as she does now,
right?
Or that could be her playing. But the thing is that I've heard from a lot of players that are in the wager scene, uh, when she used to do wagers, but she was dog shit then too.
Mhm.
I still think she's dog shit.
Yeah.
I really don't care. She's dog shit. Great marketing. Dog shit player. VPN lobbies.
Yeah.
You could take aimbot and all that away, right? I think her aim is above what a lot of hack
Above
users,
average? Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
and you know, to that fault, when they see her get high kill games, they're going to be more likely to accuse her. But I don't know for sure if it's aimbot. I've seen clips though that make me think the other way. So I've stayed again very like non-biased on it. Just like
Mhm.
I don't know if it's aimbot, but the unlock tool and everything else is enough for me to say I don't trust her.
Do you think it's like a
Uh,
night and day difference between like her setup at home and like other setups that she's been playing on?
Yes, to be honest, but I don't know if that's enough to sell anyone, right?
Mhm.
Like, so for instance, Scummin, when he played on the setup
With Shifty
at
or whatever?
yeah, with Shifty. Shifty did better than Scummin.
Yeah.
And Shifty was the one being accused of cheating.
Right.
And I don't think that's because Scummin cheats. I
Mhm.
think it's because, you know, they weren't used to the setup. And
Mhm.
one player adapted and the other couldn't.
Right.
They were playing in 1080p when normally they both play in 1440. Those controllers probably weren't overclocked. You know, there's like so many things that people don't think about that go
Right.
into playing on a setup. And so, you know, I'm sure one setup is different than another when she plays on someone else's setup. So I can't totally say that is the best reasoning. But the LAN thing is a little different because everyone goes, "Oh, she shit the bed on LAN," right? There's a double-edged sword there, right? Yes, you're right.
Mhm.
You know, her shooting at fucking walls and running into walls is fucking what?
Yeah.
But I've seen CDL players pull the same shit on their first COD playing a new COD, right? Testing shit. Uh, so I don't think that's a fair assumption totally because I don't know. The recoil, first of all, in Modern Warfare 2 is very different from Modern Warfare
Yeah.
19.
Oh, 100%.
I think anyone who's played the game knows that.
Yeah.
And I think Modern Warfare 2 caters more to casuals in the sense that not because it takes more skill to control recoil, but that you can't
Mhm.
control the recoil. The visual recoil is so high, it's not possible because it
Mhm.
just vibrates on your screen.
Yeah.
So you just need to ignore the visual recoil. And if you can't ignore the visual recoil, which is a high level player thing to do,
Yeah.
to ignore visual recoil, like you have to just like almost like look at your screen and go, "There's a dot in the center of my screen. I'm gonna pretend it's there, and I'm gonna aim it at that person. And even though my gun's going left and right, just look at the dot, look at the center."
Yeah.
And that is how you use a gun when it has
Yeah.
a high
High
visual
recoil.
recoil.
Mhm.
I don't think she could do that.
So you
So-
think that obviously there's more than just a unlocker tool. I think that there's more than an unlocker tool, but obviously I can't prove that, and no one can until she has a PC scan, which she will not do now. But I mean, that's beyond the point.
Yeah, she's not going to do a PC scan because it doesn't benefit her narrative.
Yeah.
Just as Bad Boy Beeman won't go back and talk about his old clips that, you know, don't make sense because it doesn't fit his narrative.
Do you think
You
you
know-
and Beeman will ever kind of make amends?
Here's the thing. What he's upset about blew my mind because what he got the most upset about, I don't know if people realize this.
This was the
day he
Brofy
goes-
thing?
No.
No.
It was before that. He blew up, right? Just out of nowhere. Overnight. He went from DMing me like all this shit. And I was like, "Hey, listen, if you ever need to talk, man, all differences aside, you always can reach out." And it went from that to like, "Fuck RARA, he's a shill, backstabber, snake, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like,
Mhm.
what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
And he put in the video, and it made so much sense, a clip of me talking with Jake Lucky. I was like, okay.
That was the interview that you
offended.
had?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was offended. I worked with Jake Lucky. And then in that interview, I said, "Listen, I'm not friends with Bad Boy Beeman, but I see where he," and he cut that out, right? He
Mhm.
just cut it right there. Like, I don't like Bad Boy Beeman. Like, I forgot what exactly I said. I said I don't like him, or I'm not friends with him. But people have to understand there is literally a way of going about a conversation, right? And in that situation, what started was, I'm not friends with Bad Boy Beeman, or I don't like Bad Boy Beeman, but, and then I followed up with, he didn't purposely manipulate the clip of Z-Laner. No matter how much you like him, he didn't do that. And
I did see that.
Fucking context.
Yeah.
That is the context of what I say in that conversation. You know what he does? Cuts all that out and uses it to his advantage to say, this is my moment to cut RARA, loose. Hey, you know what? I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me. But from then on, he created hate content on me.
Yeah.
And that's where I drew the line. So, like, bro, I'm not cheating. Why are you making videos about me?
Yeah.
I'm not protecting people. I've called out people within, Rafi's org, within Omit. And then I've also, defended players within Omit.
And I was actually surprised, during the Rafi interview, there were some people that were like, well, why is RARA going so easy? I was like, he's not. He literally found some, and I think I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, but I thought you did a really good job. And I've said that publicly, especially like when the whole Rafi thing happened and when I sent you the initial clip and you were like, yeah, if Rafi is cheating or if somebody on his team is cheating, I'm going to follow the facts. And you told him that. You said, I have to follow the facts. I'll make the video. So
I always have. And that's what people don't get is it's not a protecting thing. It is always, I go with what is available. I go with the information given and I show the research done. And if the research shows that someone cheated, I'm saying it. If the research shows they didn't, I'm saying it. And that's the problem, is that there's certain people that say, oh, the research shows that they didn't. But there's enough here that I could, omit that part.
Right.
And it could still be considered that they're cheating. And someone else will have to make a video saying that, you forgot this part. And who's going to watch that video? Because the other one already blew up.
I kind of wish more people would use that research, though. It's a go back. I mean, that would make the community so much more strong.
Yeah, but you're talking about, it makes sense to do it.
I know.
But then fucking Call of Shame comes out and goes, that little rat, look who defended it. I'm literally in a Call of Shame video. I've never fucking cheated.
Yeah.
What? We got you. Got me with what?
Like, people are going to hang on your every word, though. People will hang on your every word. Yeah.
And, so that's the prop.
Obviously, like with the whole full squad gaming thing, people were like, well, why is he working with this guy? I mean, look at all the things that they've done. They basically got fired or quit or however it ended up. So a lot of people were like, oh, we can see how RARA is aligning himself.
But I yelled at Jake Lucky when it came to the unlock tool stuff because I sent him all the stuff with, and maybe people aren't going to like this. I sent everything to Jake Lucky and said, hey, this motherfucker is using an unlock tool. And he said to me, he's like, I don't cover, not cheats.
Yeah.
That's not a cheat. I was like,
oh, wow. Well,
that's a cheat.
Yeah.
But then Doug covers in his same fucking, and the VOD's gone, but I have the VOD. It's on my fucking YouTube channel. Doug goes, I saw people saying, Nadia uses an unlock tool. I don't count that. Well, anyone that purchased an unlock tool, if his, said cheat provider, right, was actually, infiltrated, right? Phantom overlay, let's be real. If they were infiltrated and he was pulling information and only going off of what he was showing, that's all real, according to Doug. He doesn't know the difference between someone purchasing an unlock tool or someone purchasing aimbot. He just sees their Activision come up. How do you know they're not using an unlock tool? What if you just ruined Lino Gen because you use an unlock tool? No, I'm not defending them because I don't fucking like unlock tools.
Right.
But my point is you see the hypocrisy in what he was doing. And as soon as I pointed out, hey, technically, if Nadia bought a unlock tool from your website that you're going into, she would be on that fucking list. He didn't look into that. He didn't search her name. He let the ball drop so early that the fucking thing got patched, according to him. Was it real in the start? Who knows? I still think it's real. I just think that people have created their narrative again to shut him down because they don't want Doug Sensor Martin at the forefront of the steering wheel, which I get after what he did with Nadia.
Yeah.
But you know,
You think he just got
it-
too much blowback, especially because he was like, "Well, yeah, I'm gonna put this video out on Friday," and I'm like, "Why would you wait until Friday? If you have this information, why wouldn't you just put it out right now?"
because it's a buildup.
Yeah.
It's all about the hype machine, man. That's all he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he's doing.
Do you
And
think?
I've said to Beeman, I don't care about our beef in the past. This was back when it wasn't what's it called? This is before the Jake Lucky stuff, right?
Right. Right.
I said to him, I don't care about our beef. 'Cause at the end of the day, good for marketing. I really don't
Right.
care.
Right.
I was like, I'll use it as marketing to the day I die if that's really what we want to do here. I have fun with it.
Yeah.
But as soon as he became, hate mongering is when I drew the line.
Right.
And other people I can have not the same understanding and walk away from it and be cool. And that's essentially what happened with Jake Lucky, is that I said to him, listen, I consider unlocked tools cheats, and I think most of the community does. It's just there's a small fraction of people that are a louder voice and a bigger name that don't.
It's definitely normalized to a point, for sure. Unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is shocking because it wasn't for a long time.
Which is why that's kind of like the cop out for people who do get caught, like Clutch WO was on lock tool. So in the future, I truly believe that when people are caught, that's just going to be the cop out, unfortunately.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. We don't have that, right? And so I said to Jake all that, but also I understand Jake isn't a Warzone player. He is not. He is a news reporter. That's like saying to someone at CNN that, someone got robbed and then, they cover it and then they go, yeah, and someone stole a candy bar across the street. And, I'm not going to cover someone stealing a candy bar. Yeah, is it theft? Yeah. But it's not a fucking news story. No one's going to care about someone stealing the Snickers.
He seems pretty
agree.
naive too. He's got to be
agree.
young,
Well, no, I'm not even saying that. Like, forget the young shit. I'm saying if it's not a good news story, he's not going to cover
yeah,
it.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And that makes sense to me, right?
And that's hypocritical, obviously, because he only seems to want to cover things that not just get him clicks, but kind of fit a narrative. And I know that there's a lot of people in general, I'm not going to name drop, but there's definitely a narrative that people spin on their own content, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, everyone tries to spin a narrative. Everyone tries to spin a narrative. Look at Call Shane, look at Bad Boy Beeman, look at me, look at everyone. Everyone tries their best to make themselves look best. It doesn't matter who you are. They're always going to try to make themselves look best because they're investing in their own brand.
But I think if you just deliver facts, I think that's kind of where you should start. That's my thing, and I kind of told you before, like when I first got into like hacker hunting, my goal was never to be like a hacker hunter. That was never a goal of mine. I just kind of wanted to stream. I just started playing Call of Duty. It was during the pandemic. And I had made a video that kind of blew up on TikTok, and I had a bunch of people say like, well, you should just keep doing this stuff. And then the IQ clip came and I'm like, dude, there's no fucking way. There's no way that people think that this is legit. And he wasn't known. It wasn't a thing where I was like, no, I have to make this video. I was like, I'm going to make a video about this and kind of go from there. And that's kind of the narrative that I want to have, is that obviously from now on, if you just put facts in what you're making, that should be the basis. It should never be the basis of, well, this is kind of the what's cool today, and this is what the click is today. This is what's trending on YouTube, so I'm going to make sure I cover it and make sure I get the first video out. And I think that's kind of what the hacker hunter community has come to. It's like, I have to get this video out. It doesn't matter if this is true or not, or if I have to double down, or it's just like a clickbait thing. And that's one thing I don't like. And that's kind of why I step back from making content about it. And it's not the fact that I don't want to cover people who I think are cheating. It's the fact that I feel like I don't have a voice, kind of like how you were saying. It doesn't get clicks. People they don't care about the research. They don't care about how many hours you've put into it, unfortunately. And I think that we have to do something, and I'm not saying you, just as a community of people that kind of call bullshit, you kind of have to go back to like your laurels of what made hacker hunting what it should be. And even though I know you don't want to make that type of content anymore, I do truly believe that you have a space in the community. I think you're really good at doing PC scans, and regardless of how you feel about it in the future, I truly believe that you should just reconsider in the future. But I'll just leave it at that.
No, I mean, I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying, and I appreciate that. Listen, I like doing the research. That was the part that was the most fun to me.
Right.
And I loved, the editing and creating a film. When it became no longer fun to me is that, one, I realized no one cared about the film aspect, like making a story.
Right.
So I was like, okay, that's thrown away, and that's one of my favorite parts. And then I realized people don't even care about the facts, because a video with, all false info that's just spit at you by AI is better to them, and they're going to watch it rather than someone spitting all the facts and explaining
Right.
how, breaching a wall worked. Like that part, because I'm sure a lot of people I lost in the chat when I even explained that. It's like,
Mhm.
that stuff doesn't matter to them. Me explaining that one aim assist is better than the other for some reasons, but not as good as this one for other reasons, isn't going to work. You know what works? Me saying this aim assist is the strongest and you need to use it now.
Yeah.
People just say, okay.
Oh, they eat
And
it
that's
up.
it.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't need to say, hey, so if you disable or enable the FOV scaling of aim assist, what happens is not that you're getting a bigger hitbox than someone on console, but the fact that you're actually taking the scaling and making it bigger, which is, not necessarily making a bigger hitbox, but making it the same as a console. You're benefiting because the target is smaller, but the hitbox is the same as a console. That's why it feels like it's a placebo, but it's not actually, making aim assist stronger. They don't care. Just tell me, turn it on disabled.
Right.
And that's it. So
yeah. Also, I don't mean to put you on the spot. There's a lot of people that are like, "Hey, man, tell RARA to unblock me on Twitter. Why did RARA block me?" I was like, I don't know, man.
I mean, if you're blocked on Twitter, you're probably fucking annoying. Let's keep it a buck. If it's probably like I muted you in a conversation once, and you just kept going and arguing, and then I was like, all right, let me mute this thread, and then you kept going on another one. I was like,
I get you.
And I was like, fuck this kid. I think I blocked you at one point, and then I unblocked you.
Yeah.
But it's like I block people because I get annoyed. Hoppin' Dude is one of them that just keeps going and going. Because you could explain something to him and it doesn't make sense. I mean, the guy thinks aim assist is cheating. But we'll also praise Bad Boy Beeman, but Bad Boy Beeman literally contradicts the guy that he just retweeted the other day saying aim assist is cheating, because he said, oh, well, that guy's cheating. Bad Boy Beeman said Shroud is cheating. And Hoppin' Dude retweets Shroud and says, no, he's right. Aim assist is cheating. But then they'll fucking suck each other off in the back alley.
I seen that video. I did see that video.
If you annoy me to the point of like I can't stand the notifications, I'm going to block you. It's that simple. In Hoppin's Dudes, I don't even think I blocked him. I think I muted him. Like
maybe he just because you don't respond.
I did block him. Yeah, I don't think I blocked him. Tape It, I definitely blocked. You were just fucking annoying, bro. I'm sorry. Wendy, I blocked you. I don't even know why I blocked you. I'll be honest. I can't remember each individual block, guys.
It's okay.
I don't hold it personally. I don't sit there and, thank God I blocked them. Write it up on the chalkboard.
Yeah.
I blocked you. You did something that annoyed me.
Yeah.
I blocked you.
I guess what else we can end it with some stuff that you've been working on. Obviously, I know that you've been working on like daily uploads and stuff. And it's probably stuff that you actually really enjoy doing, because I think that the Hacker Hunter thing kind of burnt you out. But what are some of your plans for the future for content?
I mean, a lot of it is tips and tricks. I've noticed that a lot of the players that have followed me since I started doing Hacker Hunter stuff, which, I mean, it was like this even when I was doing my original videos.
Right.
But, there were people that wanted to learn more about the game. They wanted to learn more about Call of Duty in general. And so I was willing to sit down and like give them the tips and tricks. And I think that is the most beneficial thing I can offer as someone who loves analytics, loves statistics, loves, breaking down numbers. I think that is something that I can, help them with. So I'm going to offer that and be there and, here's how to get more wins. Here's to improve your aim. Here's to improve your loadout. Blah, 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 blah. Right? And both for Warzone and for DMZ and multiplayer. But I also want to do, playthroughs on the campaign and all that. But I'm gonna hold off on that at first. I don't know for sure, but 100% the analytics part, because I think statistics and analytics and understanding how one thing can benefit you more than another is a lot more fun. And that's why
Right.
having conversations even with J God, I think for me has always been fun.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, hey, dude, I appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you taking time for the podcast, and
Of course.
hopefully we can do this again.
Yeah. Anytime, man. Let me know. Thanks
All
for
right,
having me.
Rara. Appreciate it, bro.
Of course. Hey, you take care.
Take it easy, dude. All right, everybody. Appreciate you guys stopping by. I think that was a good podcast to kind of talk about stuff. And I mean, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think that Rara has some good plans for the future? Do you think him and Beeman will ever kind of hash it over and start working together again? Appreciate all you guys stopping by, man. If you guys are not already subbed, please hit that subscribe button, man. We're gonna be doing this every week. We got some cool guests coming up in the future, and this is just the start of it, man. All right, I'm gonna let you guys get out of here. I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get some lunch, and I don't know. We'll be back on later tonight, live over here on YouTube. Appreciate you guys, and if I don't see you tonight, man, enjoy the rest of your day.